Hey, hello. Welcome to the Pinfall Podcast. I am your host, Liz. And I'm joined as always by my co-host, Marcus. Happy draft day.
Yep, yep. And it seems like they clearly don't give a shit anymore about the draft. Not only not only did Raw completely get shafted
Hmm.
and do the picks not make any sense for the most part, but they've stopped announcing who's in the pools. They have stopped making it look like an actual process. Instead, we just get there's pools, and here's who's being drafted. Because last
Yeah.
year they told us who's in the draft. Or who's in the
Yeah, no.
pools.
I completely forgot about the pools until you brought it up today.
Yeah.
And that was when I was like, oh.
Yeah, Raw got shafted.
Yeah.
Completely. New Day got split up again.
It's
And
so stupid.
it really is it is so stupid.
Especially hot on the heels of Biggie being like, I'm happy to be back with like my boys.
Yeah. And like I want to see the order here with the picks. Who was the first tag team? Okay.
Okay, bro.
RK Bro got picked first by Raw, which makes sense. They would pick the
Right.
champions. Now, if you're SmackDown, how do you look at the New Day and say, yes, they are a tag team that I want to pick for my side?
And not your champion.
Well, the Usos aren't part of this pool. But like over Hit Row, if you're looking at how this past year has been for each of these tag teams, the Mysterios. Okay, so you pick the New Day over the Mysterios. Now I get the Mysterios. Like Dominic is not he's not too like he's still green pretty much. He's good,
Mhm.
but the Mysterios feel like they've accomplished more than the New Day this year. You know?
I get that.
Um and let's see, who did they pick over the New Day? They picked Drew McIntyre over the New Day. They picked uh Charlotte Flair. Oh wait. So let's scold Raw right now.
Okay.
Raw, who split up the New Day by not picking them. They picked Bianca over the New Day, which that's understandable. And they picked RK Bro over the New Day, which
Hmm.
is that's understandable. But they fucked themselves. They fucked themselves. I don't know. I don't know. It doesn't seem like a logical move in any way whatsoever to split up the New Day, especially since we know this is just going to come down to um trading the Usos for the New Day.
I Yeah, that's how I see it going. But in the meantime, it's just like one of those things where it's like when you're writing like a TV show or something, and you very, very, very obviously intentionally fuck shit up just so you can have shit get fixed.
Mm-hmm.
Or it's like, well, wait, if we didn't do this one thing, we never would have had this problem to begin with. And that's what I see happening here, and I hate it.
And why are they even split up? I mean, I guess now this year they're split up for a reason because Biggie's technically a single star now. Um,
But he's still part of the New Day. He still wears New Day gear.
for the I don't know if a draft happened while Kofi was champion. Was he part of the New Day when he was champion? Like, was he drafted separately? Or were they put together in one pick? That's something I would like to know, and I don't want to look it up right now.
That's fair.
But we'll go over the specific picks once we talk about the episode and the recap. Liz, do we have news?
Oh boy, do we have news. I'm going to hustle through it just a little bit. But it doesn't matter because none of the matches were of any significant length, so I think the news section is going to be rightfully a little bit longer. That's a joke, but not really. All right, let me pull the news up too. So let's start with some non-AEW, non-WWE news, which is not much. Impact announced a new title. It's called the Impact Digital Media Championship. With the idea apparently being to focus on its digital platforms, like
Right.
Impact Plus on YouTube.
It's going to be fought over, and matches for it are going to happen on social media and on Impact Plus, which is their subscription program.
Which is basically what they should have turned the 24/7 title into.
Yep.
And then I guess this is technically non-WWE news, just because I haven't seen Tony with my own two eyes in a while. I know she had a match, but Juice Robinson and Tony Storm got engaged.
Yeah.
So congratulations to them.
Congratulations.
Seems like such an intense couple.
Yeah, very, very much so.
All right, so I guess this isn't something I wanted to have to talk about, but Mark brought it to my attention. Stallion Rogers, who was formerly Kurt Stallion, was on a podcast where he specifically stated he made transphobic remarks.
I don't think we need to quote those remarks right now.
I'm not going to.
Okay.
That's why I said remarks. And then and there are audio clips to go along with this, so you can hear him say it if you want to, which I don't think many people would, but one way or the other. He also admitted to doing whatever it was that some.
Liz, you froze. I can still hear her going. Hold on, she'll find out eventually that she froze. I think she just found out. You hear her in the other room say, "Oh no." I think she disconnected from the internet. Did the internet go out? No, it didn't. Stream's still up. I'm still connected on Wi-Fi. Oh, there we go. Now she's gone. Welcome back.
So the Wi-Fi I was on went out entirely.
That's fun. That's fun.
Yeah.
Where you cut off was you had just started mentioning his what happened and what he admitted to happened.
Yeah, so basically somebody I guess accused him during speaking out and he said, "Yeah, I did that." On the same podcast. If you don't believe the spoken word of me, you can go to a Twitter called @daughter of ogre, which is DAUGHTEROFOGRE. I have the clips of the podcast. It's not great.
Yeah, it's all
It's
clips.
such a fucked up thing to also just like be like, yeah, you know, I do this.
And he said that she was butthurt because he unfollowed her.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. So that's something really fun to hear.
Yeah. Especially like when you liked the person. But either way.
Mm-hmm.
So that's fucked. But on to some AEW news. Yeah. Lighten the mood a little bit. Actually, for real lightening the mood. I guess. So there is now going to be it was announced by friends and family of John Huber that there is going to be a John Huber Legacy Foundation. And according to Wrestle Talk, the foundation will support groups of creative individuals with skills, connections, and direct funding to help the individuals pursue their dreams and provide for their families. The whole press release about this. Yeah, it's just a very sweet thing. And it seems like it's a very needed thing as well.
Mm-hmm.
So, yeah. Don't think of okay, so everything else is WWE. Let's talk about something funny. Shane McMahon. Shane McMahon is apparently Fightful, I guess. Inquired with WWE about what was going on with Shane McMahon as far as his place in the company. And they were originally told that he is no longer with the company. However, now remember, it's Vince's son. He's still a WWE talent and under a deal.
Yeah, so it's news in that there's kind of no news because we still don't know what the fuck is going on.
I'm sorry, it's just the idea that this is his literal father's company. He's a talent in it.
Mm-hmm.
God bless. Shane McMahon's still locked in Raw Underground, okay? Let's be honest. He and the Go-Go Dancers. They're just sitting down there. Also, Queen of the Ring, as we saw, has a new name. That is going to be Queen's Crown Tournament, which I made fun of it, but it actually has a nice air to it.
Yeah.
Also, the WWE announced that they have a new hire. Her name is Jackie Redmond. She is going to be the new co-host of Raw Talk and Talking Smack. Primarily because I think Kayla Braxton cannot do all of it.
Fair.
Which is, yeah, understandable. I guess she currently serves as a host and reporter covering hockey for the NHL Network and Turner Sports. So I guess she is leaving that life and moving into WWE. Also, so for the last two pieces of the news, apparently the WWE are in love with Joe Gacy.
Of course they are. Someone say Vince sees himself in him.
Apparently they are very happy with his gimmick.
Of course they are.
It was apparently the whole reason that they took down all mentions of him on their social media was because the New York Post and Fox News were commenting on it. So they said, "Oh no, it got real." I don't know. I'm just so upset about this. And the last piece of news, which I think is very interesting news, actually. is WWE is having a problem selling tickets for Survivor Series. Um, Apparently at this time, they have only sold about 6,835 tickets. Only 4,700 are from paying fans, and 2,107 of those were bought by secondary market brokers looking to resell.
Hmm.
Yeah. So that's interesting. I don't know what's going to happen there.
Autumn Wind West, thank you for the follow. I heard something about how Barclays Center isn't a reason things look weird with that is because they're not. I mean, things might be different now with how many people have gotten tickets, but they're not selling seats through SeatGeek, and they're not showing those numbers on SeatGeek, so it looks a lot emptier. They're only. I think they have an exclusive deal with Ticketmaster. Um, so to get a real idea of what the seats look like, you'd have to go to Ticketmaster. Um, but I did hear that it's not very full, to put it lightly.
I don't know what they're going to do because, I mean, they're not going to have a show with a fraction of the number of people.
Yeah.
And it's just weird to me because, like, shows haven't been having problems selling out in New York, you know, obviously, because Grand Slam happened and that was massive.
Yeah.
Um, and Survivor Series is a pretty big deal as far as the pay-per-view is concerned. It's like, I don't know why that's happening.
Yeah.
I mean, you don't want to go to Brooklyn, but I don't know. But that's the news.
What?
One of these days.
What do you mean one of these days? Oh.
Sign.
Hmm.
Yeah.
All right, so let's get into today's matches and promos, our recap. Also, somebody made a very handy graphic for all the drafts that happened today. And I'll definitely be referencing that. All right, so we start off. Sonya and Pierce come out for draft round 1, and they're doing it differently from how they did last year. Last year, it was for every 2 picks that SmackDown got, Raw got 3, which makes sense. Raw has the more
Right.
blown out roster, and they have to cover another division, the 24/7 division, fill out main event, and all that stuff. I wonder if some of that is changing now. If they're doing away with main event, or they're doing away with the 24/7 title. Maybe sending anyone who doesn't make the cut to NXT. I don't know. I don't.
Mm-hmm.
I can't really get a vibe of what the plan is because it just feels too weird. But so the picks in the first round are pick number 1. Roman Reigns stays on SmackDown. And I don't know why SmackDown got the first pick. They should really, like, if it's even 2-2 picks per round, they should show like them trying to decide who gets the first pick. They used to have like a match to decide which brand would get the first pick. We got none of that this time. So then staying on Raw is the WWE champion Big E. Moving to SmackDown, though, we got our first transfer of the night. The Raw Women's Champion, Charlotte Flair. And then moving to Raw, Bianca Belair from SmackDown. 2 pretty shocking draft picks. I don't know why you would go with Bianca over Becky. Like, that makes no sense. Or why you would go
Well, I guess
Charlotte over Becky.
she wasn't in the pool.
Oh, yeah, duh.
I know, that's the thing too. But okay, wait, let me try to talk. That's the thing, is that like, because I wasn't reminded of the pools this year,
Mm-hmm.
I completely forgot about them.
Yeah.
So it's like I had no. That's why I was like sitting there. I was like, I feel like there's a rhyme or reason to this, but I'm not getting it.
Like, I get Bianca is a huge talent. She is, and I know that. But you pick Bianca Belair over Edge, your own Raw Tag Team Champions. I'm not going to say Jeff Hardy because at this point I feel like he's not a step above Bianca, but you pick Bianca over Edge, over RK Bro, your champions. Okay. And SmackDown picks Charlotte Flair over Edge. Why? I feel like Edge should be higher than a round 2 pick. He's fucking Edge.
Yeah, but he's not a title holder.
Yeah, but I feel like that doesn't matter when you're Edge. I don't know.
But I feel like the first round, because it's kind of the mixed round, I think that's like when
you get your top guys, your champions.
Yeah. So I guess that's why Edge wasn't part of that, because he's not a champion.
But Bianca, I guess they are banking on the fact that, on the hope that Bianca beats Becky at Crown Jewel. I mean, that could be the logic behind it.
Yeah.
Could be. Also, don't know what that means for the Raw Women's Championship. I feel like they're more liberal with the women's titles on different brands because it allows for double champions. Like Becky's been talking about, maybe Charlotte will be a double champion, maybe Becky will be a double champion. Who knows? Maybe Bianca will get the title, and then they do a little swap ski like they did with the tag titles last year.
Mm-hmm.
So then Roman Reigns comes out, and he says, as the back of the shirt says, "We the ones. I'm number one. Acknowledge me." Paul Heyman says, like a shark that circles the island of relevancy, the shark only looking forward. What this shark looks forward to is Crown Jewel, which will not be held in Suplex City because that beast will come up against the Suplexorcist. Roman Reigns will remain your Universal Heavyweight Champion, and he will smash at Crown Jewel Brock Lesnar. Brock Lesnar then comes out. They have a little face-to-face in the ring. Roman punches Brock, but Brock fights back, and the Usos come in. He fends them off, though. Roman exits. Brock gives an F5 to Jimmy. Roman sees he's going for Jay, says, "Don't touch Jay. Don't touch Jay." He gives an F5 to Jay. And that's that. Then we get an interview with Charlotte Flair. She says, "Journalism 101, shouldn't you congratulate me for being the first overall draft pick of the women's division?" And that's really anything of note that she says. And then we get Kevin Owens versus Happy Corbin.
Oh boy. And we've got a new friend.
Yes, Madcap Moss. What the fuck does that? What kind of goofy ass name is that?
All I can think of
Madcap
is like
Moss.
it's like those like jokes about like British people where it's like, oh, the mad bastard. Like that's all I can think of in my head.
I just think the Mad Hatter, but Mad Capper. Like
Maybe.
Madcap. What is a madcap? Like, what the fuck is a madcap? just make his name Moss. Keep Riddick. I understand not wanting to keep Riddick Moss because Riddick is already a property that exists. But why not just make it Moss? Moss is a cool name.
Madcap means marked by capriciousness, recklessness, or foolishness.
See, not everyone's gonna get that though. They're gonna have everyone Google what fucking madcap means.
Yeah, but Mark, we learned a new word today. Isn't that what it's all about?
I miss AJ Styles being the one to teach me new words. Like cap. Remember?
Yes, I do remember.
Oh god. Alright, so yeah, we've Madcap Moss. This should have been Madcap Moss versus Kevin Owens. That would have made a lot more sense than just straight up Corbin versus Owens again.
So Kevin drops Corbin. He rolls right into the ground. Sorry. Let me try that one more time. Kevin drops Corbin, rolls right down into the ground and pound, sends Corbin into the corner, and then stomps on him. He clotheslines Corbin from the ring, gets him back in, and then stands on the apron, and he gets his little leggy swept out from under him by Mr. Madcap Moss. Back in the ring, it looks like we went to commercial break, and when we come back, last we saw Kevin was like kind of like grasping at his knee, like, oh fuck, like I'm injured now. And when we came back from commercial, Corbin was like on top of Kevin in the sense that like he was kind of controlling the match. And then Kevin just out of nowhere gets a boot under the chin to Corbin, hits a step up enziguri, hits Corbin with a tornado DDT after a boot to the face in the corner. That doesn't quite matter. That offense is ended by a deep six to Owens. Corbin does his little fast Corbin shtick right into a super kick and a second super kick. And then Kevin cannonballs on Corbin, so it's like ass to head to turnbuckle. Didn't look very fun. Owens then goes up top, and Corbin smartly rolls out of the ring. Kevin follows him, only for Mr. Madcap Moss to kind of like fucking Swiper the Fox or whatever, just like, woo, hey. And so Kevin kind of like lunges at him, and Madcap Moss is like, oh no, don't touch me. But this distracts Kevin long enough for Corbin to gather himself, hit Kevin Owens with an end of days, which Pat tried to call Happy Days, and I said, we're not doing that. We're not doing that today. That's not right now.
Not a good name.
No. And then we get back in the ring, and there's another end of days for Corbin to win.
Yes. This whole Happy Corbin stuff is getting so old. I don't like it anymore. I wish he was down on his luck, Corbin. Or just make him fucking normal. Alright, so then we get draft round 2. So Smackdown picks Drew McIntyre. All saw that coming. But that's a really good pick. That's gonna be awesome. Raw picks RK Bro. That's expected. SmackDown picks The New Day. Why? Just fucking why?
Because we gotta make the mess before we can clean it up.
Yep. Why not just make them part of the pool tomorrow? No. Alright. So then we had Raw picked Edge. Should have happened earlier. Alright, so then also I guess some of these picks actually do make a lot of sense because SmackDown picking Drew in story, it makes a lot of sense if he's challenging for the WWE Championship, because they might have a lot of faith in Drew to win. That way they'd have both the titles. So some of this stuff doesn't sound too illogical.
Yeah.
So then we had an interview with Drew McIntyre. He says, "I'm excited. My wheels are turning. I'm proud of everything I was able to achieve on Raw. I started on Smackdown a while ago. I was so young and immature. Things didn't work out. I always felt like it's unfinished business. Smackdown has been waiting for someone to come and flip the table on them. Universal Championship." Points the sword at the camera. Then Edge comes out. He says, "Earlier today, I was thinking that I am the only talent here that was actually on the first episode of SmackDown. SmackDown has always felt like my home. I was just drafted to Raw. It's a challenge, means new opponents, which brings me to Seth. He hit his stomp on me 3 weeks ago. Every week since, he has come out and challenged me to a match. He knows I'm not 100%. He knows if I accept, he walks in with an advantage. I'm on my way to 100%. You keep saying you want me to admit you're better than me, but I am out here, so come out and extract those words from my face." Seth Rollins says, "I gotta admit, I'm impressed. You said you'd be here, and there you are in the ring. You're not saying the things I need you to say. You're not announcing your retirement or saying that I'm better than you and not Edge Light. You said you're gonna be at SmackDown. I tend not to believe you. Believe a single word that comes out of your mouth ever. You're a liar. I'm not. I'm an honest man. The big problem is I'm not at SmackDown. I am, in fact, at your house."
God damn it, Seth.
So Edge sprints out of the ring thinking he can run all the way to Canada. Then Seth knocks on the door, but it turns out it's unlocked. And he said, "Edge, I know you live in the middle of nowhere, but come on, still lock your door." He shouts, "Uncle Seth is here." I am starving. He takes an apple and orange juice from a fridge. He's just roaming around like he's as Mylon put on Twitter, he's just Goldilocksing the place.
Yeah.
Like he's not doing anything. He's just living there. And my favorite thing is we don't return to this. We don't come back to fucking Edge's house to see what Seth's doing. He's still there. He's gonna be there for another week.
Yeah, honestly.
Oh god. And then I guess we had Carmella versus Liv Morgan. This was fucking weird.
Is that the words you would use?
You want me to talk about this?
It may as well have been a promo.
So they're announced to be having a match. Liv gets in the ring after Carmella's already there, and she hits her. I forget what she hit her with. And Carmella rolls out of the ring and says, "No. If you're gonna hit me, you can't ruin my face." And so she puts on. She gets two women to put something on her face. It is the ugliest mask I have ever seen somebody wear that is not meant to be ugly. It
was horrifying.
This is uglier than a Kane mask. I don't get it. It's like a protective face shield, but the thing is, she gets in the ring. I think she attacks Liv again. Her music plays, and that's it. Like no finish.
Also, the other thing about that mask was like it looked like it was silicone.
Kinda, yeah.
That's why I was like, I don't understand how this is like protecting you.
I'm looking at it right now. It's see-through. Like, you can see her skin through it. So it's at the very least plastic.
Yeah, I didn't understand that, and I felt frustrated that I like it was such a small detail that I was like, what the fuck? Out.
Yeah.
Because I kind of thought like, oh god, we're gonna have, all three brands have their broken nose face mask moment, but no.
Carmella already had one, though. She already had her broken face moment.
But she never wore the mask.
She wore it for one episode.
Oh really?
Yeah. It was like one single time she wore it. And then never again. Everyone's trying to bank on Sheamus.
Or Sheamus, and also Sheamus is not going to be part of the draft this year because Sheamus had to get surgery on his second broken nose.
Is it third broken nose by now?
Nope, second. Only second.
Okay. Could be worse.
Could be third.
So then we get the third round of the draft. This one is a bit better in terms of logic. So, drafted to SmackDown, or to stay on SmackDown rather, is Corbin and Madcap Moss. Then drafted to Raw is Rhea Ripley and Nikki Ash, which this kind of annoyed me. Not for any good reason, but this is just stupid logic.
It's a cop-out.
It's a cop-out because they're champions, but A, they are champions that because they have the championship, they can go on any brand they want. They serve both brands. And
You guys haven't made enough female tag teams for them to not have to do that.
And B, well, it's either they are stupid and don't know that they can switch brands, or B, they have no faith in them as champions and they think they're going to lose it soon and some kind of long-term investment. But if it's that, if they have no faith in them to hold the title, why would they pick them?
You want an answer? Because I'm not going to be able to give you one.
Why would you pick them over the Mysterios, over Jeff Hardy, over Naomi, over Keith Lee?
I want to tell you an answer. I really do. I want to give you like a good answer, but I can't.
I feel like the women's tag champ should be the only person that is exempt from the draft. Or they should make a note of it when like it comes, when it happens. Like the commentary should say something about it. So then SmackDown picks Hit Row, the first call up in the draft, which is cool. It's awesome. Good for Hit Row.
Not at all what I was expecting.
Yeah. Swerve is going to lose that North American title, I guess, to Santos very soon. And then finally Raw picks Keith Bearcat Lee. Three out of those four are decent picks. Alright, so then we have the New Day and the Street Profits versus Dirty Dogs in Alpha Academy, an 8-man tag match. Although this was an 8-man tag match, it was still pretty fun.
It was fun. It was not fun to take notes on.
I bet.
So we start with all 8 men in the ring, just kind of like not fighting, not really doing anything, just kind of milling about. So Kofi and Dolph start for their sides. Dolph goes for Kofi's leg, but Kofi manages to get free pretty quickly. We get a waist lock on Kofi, and then a spinning elbow to Dolph from Kofi. Xavier gets in, he's legal, hits the double axe handles onto Dolph's arm, gets Montez in. He is brought into a knee by Dolph. This gets Chad Gable in. He gets an arm submission on Montez and does like this weird little corkscrew roll up type of deal where it's like hooks his legs around Montez's legs and like rolls him down. I can't describe it well, but it was in the corner. So I don't know how else to describe it. Then Montez then goes to leapfrog over Gable once they're back up, but he gets caught and spiked into the ground, gets thrown into an ankle lock. He manages to turn himself over and kick Chad away and throws him backwards with a big back body drop. He takes Rude and Ziggler off the apron. He hits an enziguri to Otis. This wasn't his best move because it ends in Chad kicking him right in the ribs. Chad ends up getting thrown from the ring, though. Montez goes out to the apron after him. He hits a PK to the face of Otis and then attempts a crossbody. But he's caught by Otis and then dropped ribs first into the apron and then thrown into the barricade. Pardon me. Montez ends up, surviving. He gets back to the apron, hits some shoulders through the ropes to Gable's midsection. He goes over the top rope and right into... They were calling it a bridge, but it basically just looked like, for lack of a better word, a pop-up Northern Lights suplex. It was so weird and so cool.
Yeah.
Especially to watch it back in slow-mo.
Chad has some really great moments.
Yeah, I mean, this is both thanks to Chad and Montez.
Yeah.
So Dolph gets in. He is smacked across the face by Montez. There's a step up enziguri to Dolph. This gets Dawkins in. He's clotheslining Dolph. Rude comes in. He clotheslines him. Hits a spine buster onto Ziggler. Gets an exploder onto Gable, who has come in, and then a spinning neckbreaker to Rude, who is still in the ring. Otis then attacks Xavier Woods, who's come in to help with the interfering other team. Dawkins then loads Otis out of the ring. Montez flies onto Otis over the ropes. He gets super kicked by Dolph, who's now ringside as well. Then Kofi nearly eats shit running and jumping off the stairs, but he does that right onto Dolph.
It looked like he tripped on Xavier's trombone.
Oh.
Yeah, because I saw that move when he made his little trip up.
Okay. However, as all of this is happening, you kind of think like, oh man, the other like the faces are all doing like really well in terms of like this ruckus outside of the ring. I bet we're gonna go back to the ring and Dawkins is gonna like have taken all that energy and brought it into defeating Robert Roode. But that's not what happens. There's a spinebuster to Dawkins right off the bat. The moment we get back in the ring, I was like, where did the momentum go? Anyways, what do I know? Kofi, however, gets in off of that. Xavier gets in off of Kofi. They hit the tandem offense of a backbreaker and a double stomp from Xavier onto what looked like it was almost the head of Rude, but no big deal.
It like barely, maybe not even grazed his head.
It was like a very glancing little blow, but watching it, I was like, oh god, okay. But this gets Xavier the pin for his team to win.
Yes. And then we have the final round of the draft for today. I'm excited for tomorrow, for Monday's draft, because that's when the real numbers come in, the surprises and the call-ups. So SmackDown picks Naomi, and Sonya made a point to say that she didn't make this pick. I just want to know like why. Like I've been enjoying their kind of back and forth, but I just want to know why Sonya despises Naomi.
It's very random.
Like her saying that she's dropped the ball is not enough. That
Yeah.
one throwaway line is not enough. Like
Because we also have watched Naomi, and that's not the case.
Yeah.
Last last time that I think we saw Naomi in the ring, did she not win a tag title contenders match? Was that not one of like the last times
Something
we
like
saw her in the
that.
ring?
Yeah, something like
Yeah.
that. Um, but like if you are getting mad at somebody for dropping the ball in kayfabe, be mad at like Dolph Ziggler. Be mad at like Dolphin Rude. Be mad at fucking Jeff Hardy. Like the consistency is not there, is what I'm saying. Um, they got to say something. They got to give a little more reason, a little more motivation. So then Raw picks the Mysterios. That'll be interesting. That'll be very interesting. SmackDown picks Jeff Hardy. Really good pick. And then finally, Raw picks Austin Theory, the second and final call up of today. Um, wish I wish he was staying on NXT because he would fit perfectly there. Or I wish he was on SmackDown because I feel like they'd be able to utilize his comedy chops better on SmackDown than on Raw. But who knows? With Raw getting a little better, maybe they'll give him that same character. Who knows?
Mm.
Maybe they'll call him like Austin Arm and Hammer. You know, another dumb name.
I think they'll probably keep Theory. I think they like that a lot.
It's a cool name. All right, so then we had an interview with Jeff Hardy, but before it can really start, Brock Lesnar walks in. He takes the mic. He says, "Ladies and gentlemen, I'd like to thank my good friend Paul Heyman. Because of him, Brock Lesnar is a free agent, all because of Paul Heyman. Brock Lesnar gets to do whatever Brock Lesnar wants to do." I feel like that's not what being a free agent means. I feel like you're still in the pool on Monday. Then we get a promo from the Bloodline. Roman is sitting there next to the Usos and Paul. Paul looks like he's crying and he's bawling his eyes out. Roman says, "Good friend Paul Heyman. Are you good friends with Brock? Are we good friends?" Paul says, "You're my tribal chief." Roman says, "If we're good friends, that means you look out for me and my family. Were my cousins drafted to SmackDown tonight?" Paul says, "They'll be drafted Monday on Raw. It's a negotiation. I am the wise man." Roman's like, "Hear that? He's the wise man. He's our wise man. You're the wise man when I say you're the wise man." Roman's like begging for his life, right? Or Paul's like begging for his life. Roman says, "I want you to go to Raw on Monday. I want you to make sure my cousins are drafted to SmackDown." Paul exits. And Roman turns to the Usos and he says, "I want you to make it very clear that you are to be drafted to SmackDown. You're not leave him for dead at Raw." Now I'm excited for Raw. So then we get Bianca Belair versus Sasha Banks.
You didn't talk about the promo with Edge on the phone.
Oh, that was kind of mixed in with
Oh, okay.
it was like right after we saw Seth at his house, and he's basically telling Beth not to go home and to call Daniel and Dylan. Were those the two people? Oh,
No,
David.
it's funny. Yeah, so Sean Rossap actually tweeted about this. Because that's the real names of Cash and Dax.
Oh, really?
Cashy and Daxy.
Huh. That's cool.
Yeah.
Um.
Might also be something that's going to get his ass handed to him, but
um. It's just Pat's like, so David and Daniel, call the police.
I was like, Pat, you actually have a really good point.
All right, so then we end the episode on Bianca Belair versus Sasha Banks.
Yeehaw, yeehaw.
Yeehaw.
So there's double knees to the face. This had a really slow start. There's double knees to the face of Bianca, but she lands on her feet. She shoulder tackles Sasha. She kind of shoves her into the buckle once and twice.
Miriam just said, well, when in North Carolina, gotta call the big guns.
There's no police down there.
Yeah.
It's just if you know a guy, that's the guy. So she bonks Sasha into one buckle and then another buckle. Sasha flings Bianca off after squirming free of like this lateral press that Bianca has her up in. Bianca lifts her again. Sasha. Okay. Mm-hmm. Woo! Sasha goes for a crossbody. Bianca grabs her, lifts her again, dumps her into the ground in what was definitely like a little flubbed. I think she was supposed to raise her a couple times and like make a show of it, and then Sasha just went whoop. Mm-hmm. I said, whoop. Brother bear.
So
I don't like that face.
Dax tweeted. He said, I'll go over there right now and beat his little bitch ass.
Daxy.
Oh god, you should bring Arn along. And Glock Anderson. Oh
Arn
god.
Hammer. I'm sorry. That was the funniest fucking promo I have ever watched in real time.
Really was. So funny.
Like, just the way that it's like, oh man, Arn's really going in on Cody on this one. Like, damn. And then Arn's like talking about having a gun.
And he points the fake gun at Cody. And Lee Johnson's just standing in the back there like, Arn?
Somebody tries to steal my car. I reach into the glove compartment, pull out the Glock, and I was like, what the fuck is this man talking about? And poor Lee Shoddy, he's just like, can I go backstage, please?
Did you see Brandy's face in the background?
I was watching her. She was very strategically placed. I was watching her for most of it.
She was like this the whole time.
There were a couple of points where she was like making faces as though she were like part of the conversation. Like, just like, I was like, what are you fucking doing? Like, I get it, but if they just focusing on her face down there, I was like, what the fuck is going on? Anyways, back to the match. I just had to talk about that since we don't have an AEW podcast and I couldn't cry about it on there. Anyways, so Sasha goes for the backstabber but can't get it. She ends up being worn like a backpack on Bianca's back for a minute. Bianca goes for a KOD from that position. Sasha ends up on her feet though. Bianca just runs through Sasha. Sasha goes to ringside. After a commercial break, we come back. There's a shoulder to the midsection of Sasha in the corner. Bianca puts her up top, but Banks pushes Bianca down as Bianca's kind of setting up for like a superplex. She goes for the Meteora, gets it successfully. Sasha then just starts pummeling Bianca in the corner. She wants a tornado DDT, but Bianca lands on her feet. So I've been waiting to use this for so long. So Sasha goes into, we get a Cazadora into what is then countered with a Glam Slam. I've been waiting to use the term Cazadora ever since I figured out what the fuck it was. Or rather, what the fuck that move was. And I was like, when that happened today, I was like, yes, this is it. Time. So yeah, a massive Glam Slam, no less. Like, that was bananas high. So So Bianca just tosses Sasha afterwards. She gets an elbow back as she goes to set up for something. Um, we then get a lingering vertical suplex to Sasha and a kip up. Bianca hits a springboard moonsault. It's not enough. There's a slap to the face of Belair from Sasha and double knees to the face of Bianca. I think I just fucked all that up. Slap to the face of Belair, double knees to the face of Bianca. She uses that to sling her into the top buckle. Banks then turns Bianca. I don't know what the fuck these notes are. Banks turns Bianca carrying DDT. I don't know. Banks. Bianca lifts up Sasha. Banks, however, turns it into a DDT. That's what I was trying to say there. Sasha goes up top. She hits the frog splash. Doesn't matter. It's not a pin. Sasha gets put into a powerbomb position and gets tossed like just straight up over the head of Bianca. Bianca then goes to the apron with Sasha on her shoulders. Sasha gets back in the ring, like kind of grappling her way through. She slides out. Looks like she wants either a powerbomb or maybe like almost like a sunset flip, but she doesn't get anything. Bianca instead moonsaults off of the apron right into Becky. And then she has some words with Becky. Sasha gets back in the ring. Bianca goes to get back in the ring. And then as she goes to get back in the ring, take a shot every time I say back in the ring. Mm-hmm. Becky just kind of like casually like leans on Bianca's braid for Sasha to get the opportunity to roll Bianca up and win the match. And that celebration is only destroyed by another order of the four horsewomen. Charlotte Flair sending a boot to the face of Bianca, sending a boot to the face of Sasha. And then she and Becky have a little stare off. And yeah, cute. Yeah, reunited.
Never before have we needed more ding dong hello.
I feel like, okay, so like when wrestlers get injured, and it's like an extended injury, there's like a couple months after like I've seen them most recently like doing things where I'm like, oh, it's fine, like they'll be back soon, and then like it hits like maybe like the 3, 4, 5 month mark where all of a sudden I'm like, I can't do this, I miss them so much.
Especially
like, where
Bailey,
are they?
Bailey, who like is irreplaceable.
Yep. It's like a, I don't want to say this to like discredit any of the other women in the division, but it's like a massive chunk is missing.
Yeah. Yeah. Also, completely unrelated, but they announced for the entrance for the Impact Knockouts tournament.
Ooh, okay.
And one of them, Sadie's Martinez.
Oh, awesome!
Yeah.
That's so sweet.
And she also opened up recently about like working for WWE during the pandemic, and she said that she has allergies and asthma, and she's worried that she would die if she got COVID, and that's why she was like very inactive. And her loved ones are also immunocompromised. And
oh God.
yeah, she just opened up about how that removed a lot of opportunities for her.
Damn. That's wild. I get it.
Mm-hmm.
But fuck. I'm glad that she's finding new opportunities and like she does not seem to be hurting too much for work.
Yeah. She's an amazing talent, so good for her on getting with Impact right now.
Yeah. Also speaking of Impact Knockouts tournament, not really at all actually. This is nothing to do with that. Speaking of announcing people, How's that? Um, AEW announced who's going to be in their ladder match. Um, it is going to be Pac versus Andrade versus John Moxley versus Lance Archer. He doesn't need a ladder. Versus Orange Cassidy versus Matt Hardy versus the Joker.
The Joker's winning. The Joker's winning so easily. Oh my
It's
god.
fucking stacked though.
You have 3 feuds. 3 singles feuds in there that are all gonna eliminate each other. The Joker's winning.
You're right. Oh, you booger.
And you know who the Joker's gonna be? Luther.
Hangman Adam Page.
Imagine I'm right, it's Luther.
You know what? Fucking finally, okay?
Yeah. You know what? Fuego got
Fair
his
enough.
opportunity. Alright, so that ends that. That ends the recap from today's Smackdown. Not a bad episode, but not a great episode. Not a good episode. It was just alright. What?
If you're watching right now and you have a question for us and you want to submit it for the question section at the end of the
I was
podcast
waiting
that Mark
till the
always forgets
sign was
about.
up.
Oh, see, I was waiting for you to forget about it. I was really proud of myself that I remembered and you didn't. Also, look,
Smackdown, yeah.
I didn't even think about that. That was not on purpose in any respect.
So yes, if you have a question for us for our question segment, leave it in the chat now and we'll get to it after the bests of the night. That way it's there for when we move on. But before we move to the best of the night, let me run through the top 10 wrestlers in professional wrestling right now. There has been a big shift. Big shift. And for a second, a new number 1 was made. But right now, number 10, one half of the NXT Tag Team Champs, Wes Lee. Number 9, the other half of the NXT Tag Team Champs, Nash Carter. Number 8, one half of the Raw Tag Team Champs, Riddle. Number 7, the former TNT Champion, Miro. Number 6, one half of the Impact Tag Team Champs, Doc Gallows. Number 5, former X Division Champion, Josh Alexander. Number 4, he's just some guy, Darby Allin. Number 3, the United States Champion, Damian Priest. And number 2, the Universal Champion, Roman Reigns. And number 1, the AEW World Champion, AAA Mega Champion, Kenny by God Omega. And Roman overtook him for a hot second, for like a day. And now they're tied in points, but Kenny just gets over in win-loss. In his win-loss differential. Alright, so let's get to the best.
Do you think Kenny's ever going to be unseated? Or
Yes. Yes. Absolutely.
Alright.
I wonder more when he's losing that AAA title. I don't think, well, I think he'll lose that after AEW title.
I don't know. All I know is that I don't know when he would lose it again, if not for at the next AAA Mania.
Yeah.
Like, because I'm sure they would want to do that on a bigger stage.
Oh, I'm sure. Probably next year's Triple Mania or something. Or on AEW. Something like that.
Maybe like invite like a AAA.
Yeah.
Or onto AEW. Okay.
Alright, so promo of the night. Oh, it's easy. It's easy. Seth Goldilocks. Sethy Locks. Uncle Seth.
Dude, that made me so uncomfortable, the whole thing.
So fucking funny. It was so funny. Easy. All right, now let's go to wrestler of the night. This one will also be pretty easy. Actually, I don't think so. I wasn't really impressed by anyone today. I want to ask you first. Who do you think is your wrestler of the night? Not to put you on the spot.
I feel put on the spot. God damn it. I don't think I want to say who it is.
You can say whoever you want.
I think it's either Dawkins or Sasha.
I was gonna say either Dawkins or Bianca. So let's agree on Dawkins.
Okay, I'll take that.
Angelo Dawkins is our wrestler of the night. He looked fucking sick in that match. He really did. He really tried to show himself as a fantastic wrestler in case they got split up.
See, here's the thing. That's what I said. So when we were watching this, I turned to Mark and I said, I see what we're doing here. And then I never elaborated on the comment.
I didn't question it. I don't know. I thought
at this point, we should all assume that Elizabeth just says shit and then does not follow up.
I thought you were talking about, like, the fact that the New Day went to Smackdown, so they're here, so one of those teams is going to go to Raw.
No. I made the comment because I had the thought, and then I went on to the next thought, and I forgot the other thought. So that's how that works.
You're just a stream of consciousness machine.
Nothing sticks. But no, I was going to say that it seemed like Dawkins was kind of giving like a good show, and I kind of thought that maybe whether this was like him or whether it was whoever was producing the match, or from like higher up, it gave a good argument for Dawkins as a singles wrestler.
Yeah.
I think that they just need to figure out who he is, and then I think he'd be a fine singles wrestler.
Oh, I think he'd be a great wrestler. I just don't think that they could write anything for him that couldn't go to someone else, you know? Like, that couldn't differentiate him from anyone else.
You know, but we've been surprised before.
Of course. Well, I don't know. He just seems like somebody that WWE would immediately put in the 24/7 division.
Yeah, I do get that.
As much as that sucks. Alright, so let's talk about match of the night. As always, we go from worst to best. So starting at the worst, 4 out of 10. Kevin Owens versus Happy Corbin. It was fine. Did what it needed to do. It was pretty boring, but Corbin had some interesting moves in there. I don't know. I'm not sold. I don't like Happy Corbin. Kevin Owens needs to go to Raw. And Madcap Moss ain't doing it for me.
Yeah, I get that.
Alright, next up. 6 out of 10. The 8-man tag match. Profits and New Day versus Alpha Academy and Dirty Dogs. It was a lot of fun. Didn't really add a whole lot. Didn't do anything for any story or anything, but it was just fun. It was a fun match. And finally, my pick for match of the night. The 7 out of 10. Bianca Belair versus Sasha Banks. This is a really great match. These two ladies killed it. Becky's interference made a lot of sense. She was provoked. She wanted to retaliate, but didn't want to DQ the match. Yeah. And then Charlotte coming in the end was expected.
Yeah.
I saw a lot of people saying SmackDown ends after Sasha Banks versus Bianca Belair with Charlotte Flair standing tall. That's the most Charlotte Flair thing I've ever seen.
That's fair.
So do you agree with that match of the night?
I do.
Okay.
Yeah.
Cool. So to run it back, promo of the night, Seth raids Edge's house. Wrestler of the night, Angelo Dawkins. Match of the night, Bianca Belair versus Sasha Banks. Alright. You want to answer some questions?
I'll answer a question.
We've got one in chat and we got a couple on YouTube, so let's answer. We'll do one from YouTube, one from Twitch, and back to YouTube. So, Milam asked on the Extreme Rules post show, what are your favorite creative outlets? I'll let you answer first. Unless you need time to think about it, in which case I'll answer.
You can answer first. I don't think I'll be eloquent until I think.
Okay. I mean, recently, it used to be writing and producing short films. Now it's doing the UPF and writing, editing, doing photoshops and all that for that. Also just photoshopping random stuff. Just, you know, doing whatever the fuck I want in Photoshop. That's really it.
I mean, my primary creative outlet is just writing. That's what I do. Some would say, and by some I mean at least 3 of my brain cells, some would say what I do best. But yeah, I write a lot, like a lot.
Mm-hmm.
And then I also really like to make playlists. I haven't made playlists in a while, but I'm working on one now. So. But yeah, I like to make playlists a lot, and then like I make different covers for them, so that's always fun and like a nice way to get my brain functioning again.
Mm-hmm.
And I haven't done this in a while, and I was obsessed with it for like a month. But I think it's because I'm working on a pattern I don't like. But I've been cross stitching a lot, so that's another thing that's really gotten me, and you know, my brain unloaded, if you will.
Yeah. Also, I kind of scratch that creative itch a bit. Whenever we throw a party, now since last month, I've been doing fun creative invitations for everyone. Last month, it was a video I shot and edited and sent to everyone who's invited. This month for our Halloween party, I photoshopped invitations for everyone. Where it was like a cemetery. I put all of our names on the graves, and our cat is just standing in front of the tombstone.
In the back of my head, I was like, this feels like a really bad omen, but I'm just gonna vibe on it.
I thought about that when I was making it. I was like, I'm not manifesting anything with this, am I?
You better not be.
Alright, so Miriam asked if you could create a new title for WWE that anyone could go after, what kind of title would it be? It doesn't have to be a 24/7 type or it's just a joke. It could be a serious title. I would probably do kind of what I do in my universe mode, which is a title that's tied to a stipulation. Like an extreme title. Has to be defended in extreme rules. What would you
I
say?
would cheat.
You would what?
I would cheat.
What do you mean you would cheat?
I would probably do, because we all know what I like the most. I'd probably do a belt similar to the pure wrestling belt for a Ring of Honor. So like one for just technical wrestling. I want to see men grappling on the floor for a title. That's all I want.
So you're kind of the same vibe. That it's like a title tied to like a match type.
I wouldn't say a match type, rather a style of wrestling. But it is tied to something. But I love technical wrestling so much. I think it's so much fun to watch, especially because like you just have these two guys like kind of staring at each other until they figure out what the fuck they're doing. Like, because I've been watching more Zack Sabre Jr., so it's like you can watch him, you can see the wheels turning as like he's like got like one leg stuck and like he's got like one arm of the opponent, and you're like, what's next? So I'd probably do that. That's my bread and butter.
Could also do something similar to the 24/7 title, but it's maybe like the 7-day a week title or the once a week title where it has to be defended every week.
There's that.
They kind of were doing that with the TNT title with Darby. I think they might be doing that with Sammy,
Possible.
but basically the workhorse title.
Okay.
All right, and Mylum has a question on YouTube. Um, do you guys have anything on the network that you like to watch in downtime, like an original show or past content or whatever? I assume WWE Network / Peacock.
I like watching a lot of old wrestling. Like the first aired episodes of like Raw and stuff like that. That's one of those things that I haven't done in a while because it's kind of one of those things I like to do when sitting in bed.
Mm-hmm.
So when the cold months come, I'll probably get back into that.
I it's not necessarily on the network, um, but on YouTube, I'm subscribed to WWE, Impact, Ring of Honor, AEW, and whenever like a past match comes on, like whenever they upload any old match, I'll always watch it because I just want to see like where we were, even just like a couple of years ago. Um, but yeah, just like old matches, old pay-per-views. Um, um,
We used to watch a lot of old pay-per-views, and then it
yeah,
got really fucking difficult with Peacock.
got very difficult with Peacock because they stopped. Like WWE Network had all of the pay-per-views in order, where you didn't have to search specific pay-per-view. Like you didn't have to go into Extreme Rules to get an Extreme Rules pay-per-view. You could just go to a list all the
Like
pay-per-views.
2016.
Yeah. Um, we used to watch Ms. and Mrs. Used to be
You
into
haven't
that.
in a while.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that was a
I
fun
do
show.
really want to watch Roads to the Top,
It's
just
gonna
for
be a
the
train wreck.
content.
Oh, that's a train wreck. I can guarantee it. But
I've heard a lot of wild things about it so far.
I am excited to see everybody but Cody and Brandy.
I don't mind Brandy quite as much as I mind Cody. Cody's definitely the one that I'm like, I don't need you in this.
Yeah.
But I don't really need the Rhodes family either.
Yeah, yeah. I just want to see like Ricky and everyone else. Um, yeah, yeah. That's all the questions we have. Liz, would you like to close out the show? Oh, actually, before you do that, I want to tell everyone. The Universal Pokemon Federation has a new episode out. Go to upfworld.com to watch the most recent episode of the Universal Pokemon Federation. If you like Pokemon or competition or wrestling like shows, definitely go watch it. It's video games meets professional wrestling tropes. Ton of fun. This newest episode is it's out of this world. So go check that out, upfworld.com. Now would you like to close out the show?
First,
What?
can I tell you a joke?
Sure.
And you're not allowed to say the punchline because I've told you this joke already.
Mm-hmm.
So there's a cat talking to another cat. He's trying to explain himself. What does he say? Just hear me out.
I wish you had done this after you closed out so I could just end the stream on that.
Man, I spend so much time driving. And I just think of these things. And it makes me so happy. And I love sharing it with you.
Now, can you close out the show, please? Get us out of here before the riots happen.
Oh, boy. Man, oh, Manischewitz. That was a good one.
And
So,
everyone stay tuned because we will be hosting another channel. If there is another channel live right now.
if you join us tonight, thank you so much. And if you join us in the future, thank you so much. Happy happy Halloween. It's October. Every day's Halloween. If you enjoyed the show, tune in on Monday or Monday Night Raw. We will be talking about Monday Night Raw, shockingly, and the draft. So
Yes.
please join us for that. It'll be a good old time. And I love you, so please be there.
All right. Thank you all so much for watching. Follow and subscribe. Our YouTube is the Pinfall Podcast. If you're watching on YouTube, our Twitch is twitch.tv/the Pinfall Podcast. We'd love to talk to you live. Our Twitter is at Pinfall Podcast. I'm at the Mark Cameron. Liz is at Eliza Elaine23. And stick around because we're gonna host Jessica Havoc, who's playing Fallout 3 right now. All right, have a great night, everybody. We'll see you on Monday.